Welcome to the video. Today we cover how to navigate entry to the United States when visiting a romantic partner, focusing on balancing truthful answers with the scrutiny that can come at the border. We will explain non-immigrant intent, documents to bring, how to answer questions, and what to expect in secondary inspection. We will also include quizzes and diagrams to help you remember the key points. Let's begin. In this agenda, we will first discuss why visits to a romantic partner can draw extra scrutiny. Next, we will clarify what CBP focuses on and what you can control. Then, we will cover evidence of strong ties to your home country, smart packing and digital hygiene, how to answer questions at primary and secondary inspection, and common red flags to avoid. Finally, we will include mini quizzes to test your understanding. Before we proceed, this content is educational and not legal advice. Individual situations vary significantly, and immigration consequences can be serious. You should consult a qualified immigration attorney for advice specific to your circumstances. At a high level, CBP's central concern is whether you intend to return home after your visit. Your role is to provide truthful, consistent, and concise answers while having evidence ready to support your non-immigrant intent. The outcome depends on your credibility and the supporting documents you bring, rather than memorized answers. Visiting a romantic partner can be consistent with a tourist visit, but it may raise questions about whether you plan to remain in the United States. Preparation helps reduce that risk. CBP will evaluate your purpose of travel, the planned length of stay, your ability to support yourself financially, your ties to your home country, and your travel and immigration history. Purpose should align with visitor status, such as tourism, and social visits. A realistic return date supported by tickets helps, as do evidence of employment, studies, property, or family obligations that require you to return home. They will also consider any prior overstays, frequent long visits, or inconsistencies in your statements or digital footprint. It is essential to tell the truth. Misrepresentation can lead to serious immigration consequences, including a potential lifetime bar. If asked, you should state that you are visiting your partner. Do not hide the relationship. Keep your answers concise, clear, and consistent with your documents and online presence. To demonstrate non-immigrant intent, bring documents such as an employer letter confirming your role and approved leave dates, recent payslips, or a contract. Students should carry enrollment confirmation and exam schedules. Property ties can include a lease or deed, and recent utility bills. Family responsibilities may be relevant if you provide care or have dependents. Your round-trip itinerary should show a realistic return date, and your accommodation plans should align with your stated visit. Bank statements help show that you can support yourself without working. Your packing should match your stated purpose and length of stay. Bring a reasonable amount of clothing and personal items. Avoid bringing work equipment that suggests you plan to work from the United States if your status does not allow it. Do not carry materials that contradict your explanation, such as a stack of job applications. CBP may inspect your devices, so ensure your digital footprint does not undermine your stated plans. You should understand that device searches can occur, and you should be prepared to respond appropriately within the law. When you approach the booth, be concise and direct with your purpose, such as stating that you are visiting your partner for a defined period and plan to sightsee. Provide documents when requested, not preemptively. If you do not know the answer to a question, admit that you do not know rather than guessing. Maintain a calm demeanor and ensure that your answers are consistent with your documents and online presence. Over-explaining can raise additional questions. This flowchart illustrates the decision path at the port of entry. After arrival, the officer asks your purpose. The truthful response is that you are visiting your partner along with tourism. If you show strong ties, you are likely admitted with an I-94 authorized stay. If ties appear weak, you may be referred to secondary inspection for a deeper review of documents and history. From secondary, you may be admitted for a shorter period, asked to withdraw your application, or in serious cases face expedited removal. Notably, if you lie, that quickly leads to potential findings of misrepresentation and possible removal. Before traveling, book a round-trip ticket with realistic return dates. Collect evidence of ties such as an employer letter, pay slips, school enrollment, lease, and utility bills. Prepare accommodation details, including your partner's address or hotel information. Create a simple itinerary with sightseeing plans and local activities. Organize recent bank statements to show available funds. Pack appropriately for the duration. Review your digital footprint for consistency with your stated purpose. Save copies of key documents offline for easy access. Also, know your partner's basic details including name, city, and the length of your relationship to answer questions confidently. Several patterns may trigger concern. Frequent long visits that resemble living together can suggest immigrant intent. Carrying resumes or work equipment implies plans to work. Stating that you might get married and stay during this trip can also raise immigrant intent concerns. Contradictions between your statements and social media will undermine credibility. A history of overstays or unauthorized employment will draw scrutiny. Avoid these red flags by aligning your actions and evidence with a genuine short-term visit. This comparison distinguishes a B2 visitor's temporary purpose from immigrant intent. On the left, a B2 or visa waiver entry should be for tourism and social visits with a clear return plan, and it prohibits work or study. Evidence focuses on ties to the home country. On the right, immigrant intent implies a plan to relocate, typically without a credible return timeline, and often connected to employment or marriage-based immigration processes. Those scenarios require appropriate visa pathways rather than entering as a tourist. This table outlines typical activities and whether they are compatible with B2 or visa waiver entry. Tourism and social visits are generally fine. The stay should be short and finite. Employment and for-credit study are not allowed. Marriage can occur on a visitor visa, but your intent at entry must have been temporary and consistent with returning home. Documents should support ties, funds, and a reasonable itinerary. Carrying resumes or job tools is risky. This sequence diagram shows the travel day interactions. The traveler checks in, and the airline verifies travel documents before boarding. Upon arrival, CBP at primary inspection asks about purpose, length of stay, and funds. If concerns arise, you may be referred to secondary inspection, where documents and history are examined, and device inspection may occur. Possible outcomes include admission with an I-94, a shorter authorized stay, withdrawal of application, or expedited removal in cases of misrepresentation. Throughout, concise and consistent answers are key. Quiz time. The question is, which response best demonstrates credible non-immigrant intent when visiting a romantic partner? Option A. I'm visiting my partner for 3 weeks, will sightsee, and I return on the 24th. Option B. I might stay longer if I find a job. Option C. I'm here to figure out if I can move permanently this trip. Option D. I'm not sure how long I'll stay. I'll decide later. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is the first option. It gives a clear, short, and time-bound plan consistent with a temporary visit and a return home. The other options suggest uncertain or immigrant intent. Next quiz. The question is, which documents most strongly support non-immigrant intent for a partner visit? Option A. Employer leave approval letter, round-trip ticket, lease, and recent bank statements. Option B. A suitcase full of resumes and a list of U.S. job interviews. Option C. Only photos with your partner and a one-way ticket. Option D. No documents. I'll just explain verbally. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is the first option because it combines employment ties, a confirmed return, residential ties, and sufficient funds. The other options either suggest work plans in the United States, lack a confirmed return, or provide no objective evidence. These are the core points to remember. Honesty and credibility are paramount. Align your statements with your packing and digital footprint. Bring evidence of ties, funds, and return plans. Avoid red flags such as work-related items or open-ended stays. And maintain calm, concise communication at both primary and any secondary inspection. To recap, present a clear purpose, a realistic plan, and supporting proof for a smoother entry. Visiting a romantic partner can be consistent with visitor status when your intent is temporary. Strong ties and consistent answers reduce risk. If your situation is complex or you have prior immigration issues, consult a qualified immigration attorney. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, Please like the video, share it with someone who is traveling soon, and subscribe for more practical guides. Tell us in the comments what questions you still have, or what topics you want covered next.